friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. On this channel, I share with you the information and inspiration that you need to overcome adversity. And if you are watching this, you've not yet subscribed to this channel, why don't you hit that subscribe button now? And also make sure to turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be notified. I started sharing with us last week on how I reframed adversity. And when I reframed adversity, the result I began to get from adversity also changed. Because initially, I shared with you how I hated adversity. You can watch last week's video and the video before where I also shared how I hated adversity on the channel. So if you've not watched those, make sure to watch them so that you can follow what I'm saying. I said when I hated adversity, adversity did not do me any good. But when I reframed the meaning of adversity, the outcomes I began to get from adversity also changed. So last week I shared with us some of the reframing that I did. I'm going to put a link to last week's video in the description so that you can watch it and then also follow on with this one. So continuing from where we stopped last week in reframing adversity, another way that I reframed adversity was that I discovered that adversity is not a validation of who you are. When adversity hits you, it's not a validation that you are a good or you are a bad person. Sometimes when things happen to people, especially when terrible things happen to people, some people look at them and say, oh, it is the punishment for what you have done. They begin to read meanings into what you are going through. They feel, okay, you must have done something terrible. That is why you are going through what you are going through. But when I reframed the meaning of adversity, realizing that adversity does not come to you necessarily because you're a good or a bad person. Remember last week I said adversity is unavoidable, so everyone goes through it. So the fact that the kind of adversity I am going through is not the same with what you are going through does not mean I'm going through my adversity because I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean that you are going through your adversity because you're a bad person. I believe strongly in purpose. I know that each time adversity comes to you, it is linked with the purpose of your life. The pain that you go through is usually strongly connected with the purpose of your life. So adversity is not a validation of whether you are a good or a bad person. And there's a place in the Bible that says it that way. I'm a person of faith here, so I'll be referring to the Bible as I talk. The Bible says, if God were to regard iniquity, if God was to regard our wrongdoing, then who will stand before him? No one can stand before him because every one of us do wrong here and there. So adversity is not a validation that you are a good or a bad person. Another way that I reframed adversity is that adversity is not my enemy. Adversity is also not your enemy. If I were you, I will repeat that to myself. Adversity is not my enemy. Adversity is not my enemy. Sometimes some difficult situations happen to us and it looks like they have come to crush us. And sometimes people actually even do things to us with the intention of destroying us. But usually, if you reframe your meaning of adversity, if you reframe adversity, even if somebody meant it for good, you can still turn it around. And especially if you're a Christian and you walk with God, you trust God, God also has a way of turning adversity around for our good. And that was why in the Bible, when the brothers of Joseph sold him out, and eventually he became the prime minister in Egypt, the brothers came thinking that now that Joseph has risen to the top, he was going to revenge and pay them back the evil they have done to him. And he told them, he said, you meant it for evil, but God turned it around for my good. And that is one thing I want you to realize about adversity. Adversity is never your enemy. Even if somebody did it for your evil, if you reframe your attitude towards adversity, you find that that same adversity that was meant to destroy you can be what will catapult you to the top. So adversity is not an enemy at all. And knowing that adversity is not your enemy, you don't need to avoid it like a plague. You don't need to try to do all that you can to avoid it. In the first place, it's unavoidable. I say it's not avoidable. That was the point I made last week. So if you know that you cannot avoid it, don't even try to get rid of it like as quickly as you can when it's coming your way, because there are great virtues, there are great values that you can get from adversity. So adversity is not an enemy. You find that a lot of successful people, in fact, you can hardly mention anybody that is successful in any field that have not encountered adversity in one shape or the other. And usually, many of them will say that their success was as a result of the adversity that they went through. So, adversity is not an enemy. Adversity has come to do you good. It has come to create an opportunity for you to succeed. So that was one of the ways I reframed adversity, and it also began to help me. When I had my child that was born with severe disabilities, I saw that this was an opportunity for me to become a better person. It was an opportunity for me to work on my character. It was an opportunity for me to be compassionate. It was an opportunity for me to develop myself in other areas. So adversity is not an enemy. Every adversity that have come my way have done me good in the end. And the same thing it will do for you if you reframe the meaning of adversity that you hold. I want to ask you a question. In what way have you reframed adversity? When you reframe the meaning you hold for adversity, does it change anything in your life? And if you have not practiced it, go and begin to work with this reframing I'm talking about. And whatever result that you get, I also want you to share it with me. Remember that initially I hated adversity, but now I know that adversity is not my enemy. Therefore, my perspective, my attitude towards adversity have changed. So next week, I'm going to be sharing with you another way that I reframed adversity. Before I go, I want to leave you with this quote. The fellow who never makes mistakes take orders from the one who does. This quote is by Herbert V. Brocknell. The fellow who never makes mistakes take orders from the one who does. So reframe your mind about adversity. Don't be afraid of failing because you're afraid of the consequences that will come with that failure. Because if you don't make mistakes, you always take orders from the person who does. I also want you to remember that when you give yourself the permission to fail, to make mistake, then you are also giving yourself the permission to succeed. You are giving yourself the permission to excel. So change your attitude about adversity. Reframe the meaning that you hold for adversity, and you'll find that the outcome you begin to get from adversity will also become positive. So I'm going to stop here for today. Thank you again for joining me. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button now. And also turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be notified. I will be concluding on this reframing of adversity next week. So also watch out for that video. So thank you and take care of yourself. And I will see you next week. God bless you.